cast and producers of Voltron. How are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
Doing great.
I saw you guys just had your amazing panel where some great news and some bad news, as we heard that the new season's coming in August, and then there's one more season, and that's it. Was this what you had planned out for the whole series, that you were going to end it at 8?
I mean, we knew we had 7 to 8 episodes to work with altogether. It was like the world's worst kept secret, as that information kept leaking online. But we knew that. Yeah, we did. And we would deny, but that's ultimately the working order that we had. So we knew from the beginning.
The season where Shiro went up against Zarkon, and we kind of got a little bit of a different Shiro coming back. Season 6, they revealed what had happened to Shiro. How long was that? How long did you guys have that planned out for the series?
Yeah, I think it was something that kind of we had started planning it probably when we were midway through production on our first season, which we consider like episodes 1 through 26. We had a different kind of route for the story. We ended up needing to change some things around, and out of that came this Shiro clone story. Yeah. So yeah, I would say probably maybe around production of episode 13, it kind of came into fruition.
Yep.
I had spoken, this one's for Bex, I had spoken with one of your castmates, Blake, recently, and he had talked about his interest in having a Voltron spin-off called Voltron. Would you be interested in doing something?
I would love Voltron. That would be so fun. Just like the Holt family, we would need a couple more characters in there, but like at least the 4 Holts.
Maybe a little background on your mom and everything.
Absolutely. Oh my God, Colleen Holt is a spitfire.
You guys love to mix the comedy and like the great character development. We don't really get to see much of your characters past before Voltron started. Would you be interested in maybe expanding on his storyline?
Right now?
Yeah. I mean, like in the future seasons, you probably guys already planned out.
His past, I mean, he's been around for 600 odd years. Yeah. So there's a hell of a lot of adventures happening there. He gets into some dark trouble and some gambling spots and some really deep, dirty planets.
That seems like that seems like him.
Yeah, but he wins a few dance contests, and he steals some really fast lightning spaceship equipment, and he actually creates his own improv circus at one point. Yeah, and then they sort of travel around, they tour around. He wins a beauty contest. It's amazing.
Karan the Gorgeous Man.
Yeah, that's how he became the Gorgeous Man. Yeah, and then he started writing poetry. He sells he gets like a #1 in the universe poetry book.
This is canon. Yeah.
You've had this, in your pocket for
So this is just the tip of the iceberg. But yeah, there's some of the stuff.
So with the end of season 6, we saw that the castle was sacrificed to stop all those black holes. Pidge's character is probably going to have a huge role next season, trying to figure out how to rebuild this castle, how to go forward from here. Is that something you're excited on seeing next season?
Absolutely. I'm not sure if it's safe to assume that they're going to rebuild the castle. The castle is one of kind. It's 10,000 years old, at 1,600 years old or something crazy like that. It is irreparable and irreplaceable.
Too, by the way.
Yeah, Pop Wimbledon.
Yeah.
It's irreplaceable. So from here on, it's kind of figuring out what the next steps are. Yes, and I'm really excited to see what those next steps happen to be.
It's really awesome. With you guys are really good with character development, and we got. When Zarkon came in, when Lotar came in, he came in with a few henchmen, which were great, and I would love to see more of their story. Are we going to get to see that in the next season, more on their background and how they're going to deal with Lotar after his whole deceit towards the end of the season?
Well, I think the last time we see them, they'd get ejected out into space, right? Yeah, and they were really fun, and developing those characters was a lot of fun because they all have these distinct personalities, and they're all sort of half breeds. And Lotor likes that, and And so, once you cast him out, you don't want to just like leave him out there, right? You want him to come back, and so maybe that's a possibility.
That's awesome. We saw that there is more Alteans that Lothar had been keeping aside. Are you guys? Is that like?
Saying it, by the way.
Yeah. keeping aside,
These are
keeping out of sight. Out of his
kind of in
his whole little
storage.
plan. Was this also planned for the season to not make it that the princess was not the princess, and you, of course, were not the last Alteans left?
I mean, that was something that kind of, again, there's sort of a loose construct for where we want to go, and I don't know that the Alteans were necessarily there from the beginning, but it happened pretty well through like discovering what Lotor's motivations were going to be.
Right, it's opposite from Zarkon. Zarkon's this guy who like does brute force, and he like goes to planets, and it's from afar, right? And Lotor's kind of it befriends these people, and he knows all about their culture. I mean, it's his culture, but then he can look them in the eye and take their quintessence. So it's just so different than Zarkon, and it kind
I'll say it again: Zarkon plays chess, and Lotor plays checkers.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just very evil checkers,
Right.
and
And Karan
Karan-
plays snakes and ladders.
yes, Karan and Allura aren't exactly the last Alteans alive because Enerva and
Yes, yeah.
and Lotor do exist, so it was already there.
With Enerva like coming back, changing back into her previous form. Do you guys want to see her like get some redemption because she felt responsible for the whole thing that had happened with the planet?
I think we just want to learn more about her.
Yeah.
She's reached such a pivotal point in her progression where her whole history has kind of been reopened up for her. She'd completely forgotten this whole other life that she lived, and so it's not something that's just going to kind of happen and not have an effect on her. It's a huge deal. So seeing this new character that she has become I think it's going to be pretty intriguing, and it's going to have probably a big weight on the season.
How important was it for you guys to work with Netflix versus, I know some of you have worked on Legend of Korra, Nickelodeon. How important was it for you to work with Netflix, and how much freedom did they give while you're creating the show?
I mean, technically we work for DreamWorks.
Yeah,
So DreamWorks is contracted with Netflix. Netflix, the awesome thing about Netflix is that they embrace the serialized storytelling model, which is something that just was not the case working on network, where they really crutch on syndication. I mean, we've sort of brought this up in the past, but it was extremely liberating. I mean, as storytellers, we all just sort of live for the time where you can follow a character's arc and see them progress through a series, and to have that series be at 78 episodes, it's like a dream.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of story to tell, especially like in that way. We all come from Korra, and Korra, every time a season was broken out, it was serialized heavily.
Right.
So there was hooks at the end of every episode, and so we kind of had that, and we were ready. We also were on Avatar, and on Avatar they said, "Oh, can we have a lot of standalone episodes constantly?" Because they want to put in syndication. So, but we had that muscle to flex. So.
Yeah, I feel like with a lot of like cartoons or animated things out there, they like to try to do like standalone stuff. But the thing that I found most intriguing about Voltron, it flows, especially when it's released all at the same time. It's like a really long movie.
Right.
Growing up, or now, did you guys watch the old Voltron series, and did that have a lot of effect on where you guys wanted to go with the storyline, or like your characters?
I remember briefly seeing it maybe once in New Zealand, but I do recall it. But it was a much bigger deal in the States.
Yeah.
I would say also Reese's character specifically is almost like polar opposite of what Korea was in the original, in all the best ways.
Yeah. Which is great. You bring like a certain fun and lightheartedness to the whole thing, and in a world where it's all darkness.
Also, he's more alien than the original one, and let's not forget he's not human, so
Right.
it should be different.
Totally.
I very intentionally did not watch the original series before I went in for the audition, or even as I was starting to build this character, because I wanted to do it the way that the new show wanted. I wanted to kind of give it a new life. I'm kind of glad I did.
I grew up with it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both grew up with it. And we watched it. We loved it. The funny thing being about how TV used to be when you didn't have streaming and you couldn't find everything on the internet.
Yeah.
A long period of time happened between us, seeing it when we were kids and being able to watch it again. And your mind kind of fills in all these gaps and makes up these stories that weren't necessarily there. And so you just kind of end up remembering like your most idealized version of that show. And that's ultimately when we set out to make this show. That's the show we wanted to make. We go back, we watch the old one, we appreciate it for what it was and what it meant to us. But it is from a different time, and it's a product of being a Japanese show that was kind of localized, re-edited, and then dubbed with no true knowledge of what they were saying initially. So we just felt like we could do a pretty good job just by following our gut instinct as to what we loved about it.
And a lot of people love it. What would be probably, like, on this whole journey through the whole series, what would probably be your most memorable moment, either working together or, like, seeing how much it's loved within the fandom?
Yes.
I would say today
Both.
was a good one.
Yeah,
Today's
definitely.
a pretty memorable sticker.
Yeah.
Revealing Shiro was, I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I was emotional, sort of feeling the return on that, the energy that was coming at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was my first. Oh, sorry.
There you go.
No,
Yeah, you don't speak much. You go.
we.
That's enough.
I think. Yeah, I was gonna say today too. It was my first Comic-Con, and when I walked out there, everyone was screaming, and it was just, the energy was amazing. And then watching the episode with thousands of people was in every little detail they catch on to, and every joke they laugh at. So it's great. Today was a big one.
Watching the passion grow from the very beginning to where we are today has been a real awesome experience. Yeah, because it's huge. The fandom is massive, and it's passionate. When things happen in that episode that we watched on the big screen, you can hear, oh, yeah. I mean, who watches? It's just so cool.
Yeah. For me, I think it was, as we were making this show, we were all really proud of what we were making, but we didn't necessarily know if the public was going to accept it the way we hoped they would. We didn't know if it would get a new audience that had never seen Voltron or cared about Voltron. We didn't know if the old fans would accept it because it's not exactly the same Voltron it used to be. And so when both of those things happened and the old fans embraced it and the new fans who had never known anything about Voltron came to it and adored it and appreciated it, and actually it ended up sparking their interest in the old Voltron in a weird way, that was something that was very reaffirming for me and made me feel really good about what we'd accomplished.
If you guys were to, did you kind of
I first of all, working with everyone on this project has been a dream come true. I've idolized the work that everybody has produced for years, and so getting to be in the same room and be part of the same project is indescribable. But on top of that, getting to meet the fans has been one of the best parts of this entire process, is having these kids come up to me and talking about how much the representation means to them, having a woman pilot, a woman in STEM, before even Allura got to step into the cockpit. And now that Allura's in there too, it's just even better. It's all these people just talking about what Voltron means to them makes it mean even more to me.
That's awesome. Well, you guys, I am super excited about August, and a little sad that the 8th season is going to be the last one. But thank you guys for creating this, for voicing, like bringing to life these characters that you really want to invest, invest your time in. And I can't wait for the next season. It's coming out in August 10th.
10th.
And then I'm going to
Soon.
probably finish it on August 10th. All right,
That's what we
thank
like
you
to
guys
hear.
so much.